Parliament recently approved regulations which we took there as a ministry. And reason being, those regulations will give KMA now the strength to be able to implement some of the things that they warrant. In fact, the weakest link in this maritime sector is KMA in the area of enforcement. If KMA can be able to enforce some of the regulations that we have, the KMA Act of 2006, the Merchant Shipping Act of 2009, then we'll be able to realize the potential that we have in this sector. You know, a sector is only as strong as the regulator. When the regulator is not that strong or is weak, then that sector definitely will not do well. And so it is in our interest to ensure that KMA becomes a strong regulator of the maritime sector that is expected to do. And that is precisely what the Ghanaian Maritime Authority has done. They are very strong in enforcement. There are certain things people get away with here in Kenya. You can't do that, some of those things in Ghana. All right? Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. But it's a broader conversation that we need to have. That's just one metric I've used. If we opened up our registry, and also if we became a very serious flag state. The other area is, of course, on ship recycling, with all those, and then shipbuilding. You know, shipbuilding is one area that generates a lot of jobs. Recently, Ugandans had given one of our private companies here the opportunity to build a vessel for themselves, and it created about 400 jobs for Kenyans. Okay, and so shipbuilding, ship recycling, and also maritime transport in and of itself, we as a country have to invest in it. We are not in that sector. We lose about 600 billion Kenya shillings every year because we are not in the shipping business, both internationally and locally. And so this really, if we go into the numbers, you will realize that we are barely scratching the surface in the blue economy sector. But it's also important for us as a country to invest in this sector. You know, we cannot be talking about the potential of blue economy, that this is a new frontier, when we are not putting resources in this particular sector. This is a capital-intensive area. You hear what the EU has already put in. So there's a lot of money from the European Union taxpayers. Our taxpayers should be ready to put in that. I mean, that or even more. In fact, I'll say more into this particular sector. Increase support to infrastructure, to capacity building, and also to human resource development.
We need to turn our face to see the enormous potential and opportunity there is. And this is what the European Union wants to contribute to. So we helped the ministry develop its blue economy strategy, maritime strategy, but we're also doing concrete things. For example, we had a Go Blue program here on the coast of 25 million euros, which is 3.2 billion Kenyan shillings, and where we try to combine the blue and the green, because land and sea need to be seen together in an integrated way. And too often we have talked about greening the economy and so on, and we forget about the blue. It is blue-green. There's no escape. But also when we talk blue, we cannot forget the green. We're handing over to the government 5 search and rescue boats, which should enable Kenya to help make operations like fishing and others in Kenyan waters safer. So we are really trying to see the integrated development here, That's why our Go Blue program has also Taita Taveta included, because we want to see the spatial connection between the land and the water. We did value chain development. We worked on maritime security, capacity building, not only in the fishing space, but also in tourism, cultural heritage. So less traditional, let's say, blue space, things like, for example, waste management in Taita Taveta. So the water is not carrying all the waste down into the ocean, stuff like that. So I really hope we did a good job. You're the judges, and if it goes back to square one, then we have failed.